Hello friends and welcome to my channel. Today we are planning out the week of June 24th through the 30th in my Caress Press inserts. My planner is from Aura Estelle. This week I am using kits multiple from Whimsical Plans. I ended up needing 3 of her biggest kits to make this spread. I actually only had 2 in the beginning and I had to panic order another one. There was just so much for my trip. This will be for trip days 9 through 15. And then I have a bunch of foil from Planner Pixie Co., who I do PR for, and you can use Rosey15 to save. A few housekeeping things before we get into it. Lucy and Olivia are living their best lives, so you may hear them in the background. I'm also doing laundry, and it will be done in the middle of this video, so I apologize when you hear it go off or if you can hear it currently. If you haven't seen any of my previous trip videos and you're wondering what is going on, I will link the first one up above and you can kind of follow along from there. I took this big trip this summer. This spread is going to be encompassing Tokyo Disneyland, Shanghai Disneyland, Hong Kong, and then Agra, India for the Taj Mahal. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. I have a coffee ready and made. Grab a snack, grab a beverage, get comfy, because this is going to be a long one, about 40 minutes. Definitely one of my longer trip weeks, had a lot going on. So waking up this day, Monday the 24th, we were still in Tokyo Disneyland, and Mom woke me up actually like an hour before my alarm because she set her watch to the wrong time, and I was very unhappy about that. Then I did my makeup, and this day I wore my Duffy and Shelly May ears. All my ears from this trip were from Factory 55. This day we kind of had like a free day again because we still had our golden passes that they gave us, which were only something that worked to Tokyo, which was interesting. But if we showed them to anybody that was like waiting outside of any of the lines, we just got to go up the lightning lane at any time, or if they didn't have one, we got to go up the exit and just get right on the ride, and it was everything. Nothing like that at any of the other parks. We could go on any rides as many times as we wanted. It was so cool. So this morning before we went into the parks, we went down and got breakfast at the Sherwood Garden again, and then we went into Tokyo Disneyland. The first thing Mom and I did there was their version of Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, the one that's in like Disneyland or Magic Kingdom. And it was fun. I did enjoy their ride vehicles. They're like the ones at Disneyland, which are superior. And then we went on Space Mountain, which would, excuse me. We went on Space Mountain, and it was like the final countdown of it. It did end up closing like a month after we were there. They're totally reimagining the coaster, the inside, the outside, everything. So I'm happy I got to go on the old one. I don't remember, I've been to Tokyo Disneyland before back in like 2007. Other than It's a Small World and Pirates, I have no memory of any of the rides we went on there. Next, Mom and I went on Gadget's Go Coaster in Toontown just because we think it's funny, because that was one of my favorite rides growing up at Disneyland. And when I went to Tokyo Disneyland originally, that ride was closed and Splash Mountain was closed, so I wanted to make sure to definitely do those because I know I didn't the first time. Then we went on Pooh's Honey Hunt, which is like their version of Winnie the Pooh at both Disneyland and Disney World. And then we did It's a Small World. We did It's a Small World at all the locations. It's like one of the only attractions that all of the parks in the world have, which is interesting. After that, we did Tokyo's version of the Haunted Mansion. which the exterior is very similar to Disney World's. The inside is really cool, classic haunted mansion, which is just one of my favorite attractions of all time. Unfortunately, it was still under refurb at Disneyland. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. So we didn't get to ride it there, but that's all right. I've been on it before. And then we went on Peter Pan's flight. At this point, Mom and I were hungry, so we stopped at like a quick service place called Captain Hook's Gallery, and we got these like cheesy potatoes that were pretty good. And then we went and we rode Splash Mountain in Tokyo. It is still like the original zippity-doo-dah, slightly problematic version, not slightly, you all know what I mean, of Splash Mountain. So it was kind of fun to see that because I never thought I would get to go on that attraction again after they closed both the U.S. parks become Tiana's. I'm sure Tokyo would follow soon. I was kind of surprised it didn't get announced at D23, although Tokyo's Splash Mountain's in really good condition still, so I don't know if that has something to do with it. And then we did their Country Bear Jamboree, which is currently the Vacation Jamboree, and that was fun. We did Big Thunder Mountain. Love that attraction at all the parks. We did their Jungle Cruise, which was a wildlife expedition, and it was in Japanese, so I don't know what any. I don't think they even had any jokes because nobody that like spoke Japanese that was on the ride laughed at anything. So I don't know what was said. But a lot of the scenes were similar. And then we went on Pirates of the Caribbean. Then we walked back and did this Monsters, Inc. attraction because we realized we had missed it in a section of the park earlier. And it was really fun. It's not like Monsters, Inc. in Disneyland. You like have a flashlight. It's kind of like Buzz Lightyear. You have a flashlight and you want to shine it on the monsters and like get as many of them as you can. It was really fun. It was pretty cute. And then we went and had a drink in the salon in the hotel just to take a break halfway through the day. And then we also got our laundry back, so we were kind of sorting between each other's things and reorganizing because we did have to have our luggage out that night. I feel like I don't know what that was. I did miss earlier, we did go on Beauty and the Beast, because I was going to say we went on it again, but I just forgot to say it. The Beauty and the Beast attraction at Tokyo Disneyland is so good. It is only at Tokyo Disneyland. There's not another Beauty and the Beast attraction like it anywhere in the world. There's not another Beauty and the Beast attraction anywhere. Closest thing would be the restaurant Be Our Guest in Magic Kingdom, but this ride system, it's like a trackless ride system like Ratatouille or Rise of the Resistance, but you're in like a teacup, and it is so cool, and some of the effects that they pull off, one of the best rides I've ever been on, definitely one of the top rides of this trip. And then Mom and I watched then we went to the Blue Bayou restaurant, and that was another fun eating experience. We actually told our waiter that we were vegetarian, so he brought out the chef to talk to us to make sure he fully understood everything, and there was an interpreter there, and we said no fish, no meat, no birds, like no animal, blah, blah, blah. And he repeated it back to us, and we were feeling really good. And then dinner came, and it was duck. And then the next dish came, and it was scallops. So I don't know what the problem was with that. And then we rode Beauty and the Beast the second time. And then we finished the night by watching Bridgerton Season 3. And then I forgot to mention, the Blue Bayou restaurant is inside of Pirates of the Caribbean in Tokyo like it is in Disneyland. And you sit on the edge of the water as the boats go by. It's a really pretty scenic view, and I enjoy the one at Disneyland slightly more. Although the food that I could eat, like the vegetables and the potatoes and stuff, were really good. Moving into Tuesday, the 25th, the first thing I did was my makeup, and then this morning we were getting ready to leave to go to our next destination, and I'm in the bathroom, and I hear my mom go, "Oh, fuck." And I'm like, what is it? She's like, "I don't have pants. I forgot to keep a pair of pants out for the morning," because they had collected our luggage. So it became this huge thing. I had to run downstairs, find one of our adventure guides from our team, and be like, "Mom doesn't have pants." And luckily, one of our adventure guides was late getting their luggage out and loaned her a pair of pants until we got to the airplane. But that was a whole ordeal. And then we went on our plane to Shanghai. On the plane, I did take a nap, and then Becky, our she's the head of Disney Archives, gave us a lecture about Disney in China. And then we landed, and we checked in at the hotel, the Disneyland Hotel. And this day I put on my Merida ears, and we went into Shanghai Disneyland, and we rode Tron. Was the very first thing we did when we got there. We did have a ticket that had a fast pass for every attraction for like a single use each day. And then we were hungry, so we went into Disneytown, which is their version of Downtown Disney or Disney Springs, and we ate at the Cheesecake Factory, and this was, I'm not usually a Cheesecake Factory girly, but this was legitimately one of the best meals I've ever had in my life, and I don't know if it was because I was starving after not eating for like 3 days and like not being able to eat the meals, but it really hit the spot. Then we went back into the park, and we went into Zootopia Land, and we rode Zootopia Hot Pursuit, it was a really cute ride. I highly recommend it if you get to go. And then we went and did Pirates of the Caribbean. I have no words. I have no words for their Pirates of the Caribbean. It's actually called Pirates of the Caribbean Battle for the Sunken Treasure. It is the only Pirates built after the movie franchise, and the screen simulator type effects mixed with animatronic practical stuff. I could not pick my jaw up off the floor. I am so hard to impress with rides. This one went to my favorite attraction of all time. Everybody we rode it with in the group that like went for the first time, we all could not get over how good this attraction was. If I could go back to that park and I got to choose just one attraction, hands down, it would be that one. And then we went and did Soarin' Over the Horizon, because all the Soarins end a little bit different, so I wanted to make sure we did all the ones at all the parks. And then that ended our day. Moving into Wednesday, the 26th, this night I finally slept well. I did my makeup, and I had my Jasmine ears on. And then this day, we went back into Shanghai Disneyland, and we got to go in before the parks open and take some castle photos. And then we ate at the Royal Banquet Hall, which is inside of their castle. And we had a lecture from 2 Imagineers that helped open the park and design the park. Then we got to go off on our own with like our passes for a bit. So we did Pirates of the Caribbean again because our passes refreshed so we could, and it was close to the banquet hall. And then we walked over and did Zootopia Hot Pursuit, and I did it with one of our adventure guides for the first time, and it was a lot of fun. Then Mom and I went and did a voyage to the Crystal Grotto. This is kind of like you're on a little boat and you're going through like different scenes from movies, and then you get to go under the castle. And then we walked around the Alice in Wonderland maze. If you don't know, Mom and I love us a good hedge maze. Unfortunately, the one at Disneyland Paris was closed, which is our favorite of all time. But this one wasn't bad. I still like Paris better. And then we did the castle walkthrough, which was called Once Upon an Adventure, or Once Upon a Time Adventure. And then I got a popsicle, which is like one of those popsicles, but it's called PAW, P-A-W, sickle. from Zootopia and some popcorn. And we watched Mickey's Storybook Adventure, and then they told our group to hang back when the show ended, and we got to meet Mickey and Goofy and take a photo with them on the stage. Then we divided up into our groups to do a VIP tour of the park with a guide who would tell us things like hidden things in the park, as well as we could get on the rides without using one of our passes that were on our tickets. And we could tell our groups, we were all given like cards every day that we wore on our lanyards that would say our group name, and it would be a character. And the guides each had a different like plushy character on their shoulders, and that's how we would find them. And this day our group was Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. And I don't know what our energy was, but we just kept yelling like, "We are Groot!" And every time we saw another like group walking around the park, we'd always be like, "We are Groot!" And it just became a running joke, so I marked that we were Groot. And then we went and did Soarin' Over the Horizons as a group, and then we went on Pirates of the Caribbean, just because we all, again, that ride is, I think, the best ride Disney's ever made. As somebody that's like now been on pretty much all of them. We did Zootopia's Hot Pursuit, Peter Pan, Voyage of the Crystal Grotto, and then Tron Light Cycle Power Run. And then this night for dinner, we were so fortunate and lucky that we got to experience Club 33 in Shanghai, Disneyland. It was my goal this year, since I'm turning 33, to get into a Club 33 to be able to experience it. So I'm really happy to be able to say that we did. And the presidents of the park joined us, and we got to meet Judy Hopps and Nick from Zootopia. And then this night, Mom and I watched Illuminate, the nighttime celebration fireworks show. And it was just such a good way to round out Shanghai. Both days we were there, it was pretty rainy, but that didn't slow us down and didn't stop us from having a good time there. That park is definitely the newest park and the biggest as far as having to walk from place to place. You have long walks spread out, tons of room for expansion, really pretty grounds. Really enjoyed my first time at Shanghai Disneyland. It was really cool. Their castle is massive as well. Moving into Thursday the 27th, this marked the halfway point of our trip, so I wanted to put that in. And then my Plan With Me for my 90s throwback went live, so I'll link that in the eye up above. This day I did my makeup, and then we had breakfast downstairs at Lumiere's kitchen, and we got to meet Mickey and Minnie Mouse. It was super cute. They came in and like I don't even know how to explain it, kind of like summer vacation apparel, and did this dance and stuff. And then this day I had a breakdown because my phone just decided to stop working, and thank God we got it fixed. Then we got on the plane and flew to Hong Kong, and we had a lecture on Hong Kong Disneyland. We checked into the Disney Explorers Hotel. This hotel is kind of like reminds me of Animal Kingdom Lodge, but make it more tropical. Hong Kong was gorgeous. I had no idea it was going to be so gorgeous and tropical. I don't know if I was thinking because it's a big city, it was going to be more city-like, but it was gorgeous. The park was gorgeous. The way the castle was built into the hill was gorgeous. It was so stunning. If that's one thing I can get across from Hong Kong, is it was stunning. So we checked into the Explorer Hotel. And then this day I decided to use my Frozen ears because Hong Kong does have, I think it was like the first full Frozen land. And then we went ahead and went into Hong Kong Disneyland, and this day marks the official day that I had been to all of the Disney parks in the world, which is crazy because I'd already been to the 2 in Paris back in 2019. Pretty special to be able to say that. And this day, Mom and I went to the park with 2 people that we became friends with, Peg and Vicky, and the 4 of us just had such a good time. We went into Tomorrowland and did Hyperspace Mountain, and then we did Ant-Man and the Wasp, the Nano Battle, which is like Buzz Lightyear, but Ant-Man and the Wasp themed, and I loved it. And then we did the Iron Man experience, which is similar to Star Tours. Simulator rides like that are not my favorite, but we did it. And then we went on It's a Small World, and it smelled like dog food. It was horrible. Horrible. I don't know why it smelled so bad. Let me take a sip of my coffee. But it was not a pleasurable experience, and I had a hard time not gagging. The exterior of it was colorful, like Raleigh Crump had originally designed, though, so that was cool to see. And then we went on their version of the Haunted Mansion, kind of, which is called Mystic Manor, and they have this little, like, tiger character who's, like, owner human says, don't touch, like, this cursed object, and he does, and, like, you go on this whole adventure of, like, the spirits getting out. Definitely a different take. Really cool to see. It's newer attraction for sure. It's a rideless track system as well. You're not on like the continual moving conveyor belt like you're used to seeing with the Haunted Mansion. So it was a different take. Fun to go on. And then we did Big Grizzly Mountain Runaway Mine Cars. That attraction is essentially like Thunder Mountain meets Expedition Everest is the best I can describe it. And I usually am somebody that knows, like, has looked up ride spoilers and knows everything that's coming. And I just didn't for this one. And the first time going on it, my mom, Peg, and Vicky and I had such a blast. We were smiling from ear to ear, laughing really hard. And then right after we got back, Josh Gad, who's the voice of Olaf, posted a video going on it. And same thing, the ride is just great. If you ever get to go to Hong Kong Disneyland, that is the attraction to not miss. And then we went and had dinner at the Main Street Corner Cafe. And I want to say pizza, and it was really good and hit the spot. Moving into Friday the 28th, this morning I wore my Mulan ears and we went into Shanghai Disneyland. Nope, let's try that again. Hong Kong Disneyland before it opened, and then we went to the Frozen theme land and had breakfast at the Golden Crocus Inn. And they actually had Imagineers that created the land come and talk to us, and they had the land closed off to the public till a certain time, so it was hours to explore and ride the attractions, which I know doesn't get to, like, it was such a, English is hard, which was just such an experience and so cool to see the land that empty. The details and everything is gorgeous and just what you'd expect out of Disney. So we did Wandering Oaken's sleigh, which is like a tame kiddie coaster, super cute, super short. And then we got to meet Anna, Elsa, and Kristoff, which Tito, my parents' dog, was originally named Kristoff. And then we did Frozen Ever After. Then we were allowed to explore the park on our own. Again, we had tickets that we were able to cut some of the lines, essentially. And we went on the Jungle River Cruise, which is what it's called there. And then we did Big Grizzly Mountain Runaway Mine Cars again. And then it was so hot. My mom does not do well in the heat. And this day it was unbearably hot and humid. and she was actually getting sick. So we went back to the room and took a nap, and then we went and got dinner at the Chart Room Cafe and had Mickey bars and just kind of hung out at the resort because she really didn't feel well. And we had done, Hong Kong Disneyland's pretty small. Apart from like doing the carousel and like Dumbo and those kinds of attractions, we had hit all of the major ones, believe it or not. Moving into Saturday, the 29th, this day we woke up and we were transported to the Disneyland Hotel at Hong Kong Disneyland for breakfast at Walt's Cafe. And then if we wanted to, we could partake in some Tai Chi. And then they had a Mickey who was dressed to fit the theme to take photos with. And then this day we got on the plane and we went to, I don't even know how to say this correctly because we were barely there. Varnan, God, it's somewhere in India. I don't want to butcher it. I'm sorry. To go through immigration and customs. And while we were there, we got our lectures, which were Disney and India, and lost on the way to the fair, the Legends of the Enchanted Isle. And then once we cleared customs and everything, we got back on the plane and we landed in Agra, India, on their military base. We were really lucky to get to do that so that we didn't have to take a over 4-hour bus ride to get to Cairo. And then we checked into our hotel, which was the Obori Villas. I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering that. And this was one of the nicest hotels I've ever seen or ever stayed at in my life. We went and checked in to our room and we had a view out of our balcony of the Taj Mahal, which is an experience I will never forget. Just so pretty. There was peacocks. It was a sight. And then we went and had dinner at the Bellevue restaurant. And then moving into Sunday, the 30th. This day was the only day I marked what time we had to wake up because it was so early. We woke up at 4:30 in the morning. I did my makeup. And then we went to the same restaurant as the night before to have breakfast. And the reason we had to get up so early is because our tour this day, our tour group got into the Taj Mahal before it was open to the public. So we could go and take photos and experience it without the crowds or the people, which is insane and so lucky. And the beauty behind the Taj Mahal, the fact that it took like 90 gems to make one flower that's engraved, and just the process of it, moving the stone, how quickly they did it. Seeing it in person is crazy. It's also funny now seeing the Soarin' version because that is completely CGI, and it's just when you've seen it in person, you can really pick out the differences. And it was somewhere I just never expected to go in my life, and I just feel so lucky to have been there. And it's really pretty. It was so hot and humid that day too. I was wearing these like flowy lightweight pants, and this is really disgusting, but they kept sticking to me because I was sweating so bad. Yeah, and there was puppies running around, and I know they're strays, but oh my God, they were so cute. And it was I just love art history and architecture, and like the fact that a man built this for his wife because he loved her so much. Like, I need to get me one of those guys. I want a guy to build me a Taj Mahal because he loves me so much, and like for it to withstand the test of time, you know? Yeah, so we spent a decent amount of time there just learning the history of like not just the Taj Mahal, but like the area, and how for a long time it was actually abandoned and like forgotten about, and so interesting. And then we went back to the hotel, and this was our time. We were told that this was like our last day to relax until the end of the trip. So we took 2 naps this day, if that doesn't tell you how relaxing it was. And then I redid my nails this day on the trip. I did bring another set with me, which sounds extra, but I just feel better with nails on. And if I had the time, I knew I would want to do it, and this was the day. It ended up being a good day to decide to do it, because in the evening at the hotel, they had set up some activities, I guess, for us to do, and the men went to a class to learn how to tie like the head scarves. I don't know what they're called, and I'm really sorry, I'm really ignorant, but like how the local people of Agra do it, and it was like really cool to see some of them do such a good job. And then the women went and all got traditional henna done, and then we got to have a meal of like local cuisine and watch local dancers, both men and women, perform. And it was just really cool to learn about their culture and experience it, because again, I never thought I would get the opportunity to go to the Taj Mahal. I don't know if it was necessarily specifically high up on my list of places, but now that I've been there, I'm really glad I can say I did. And then this night we also had some Disney trivia, and we lost because my group couldn't name who Daisy's nieces were. Donald's nephews are Huey, Dewey, and Louie, but we could not name Daisy's nieces. They were April, May, and June. Yeah, I'm not bitter about that at all. And then this is where it gets kind of confusing. I marked it this day because it happened this day in the United States, but it happened the next morning my time, but I put it in my planner this day. That's very confusion. The Nashville NASCAR race was going on, which is the one I would be at if I wasn't on this trip, because my dad and I usually go every year. So I'm on my phone and I am like refreshing between the ESPN app and Twitter, trying to see what's going on in this race. There's somebody I like really don't like in the lead. They're saying a bunch of people might not make it on fuel. And my driver is like back in like 16th, 17th. So he's not even like in the running for this race. And a wreck happens. And like all the front cars have to stop for fuel, and all of a sudden my driver is up in front and has a chance to win, and I am tense, and I'm like refreshing, nothing's loading, and part of me is like, what if he wins and I'm not there? Oh my God, what's happening? And he ended up winning, which is so bittersweet and infuriating. This is the first race in years I haven't been to, and of course he wins it. But very exciting for the season, in that he hasn't won a race yet since the season started, and this means that it is going to push him through into the playoffs this year. So bittersweet that I wasn't there, but happy he won, and also really confusing. Didn't know how to mark it with the time changes. I just thought it would be weird to put it on Monday when he won on a Sunday. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. But it seems like I talked through this one a little bit too fast. So if you're curious about where any of the stickers are from, most of them are from, let's see, RoseyPlans, Scribble Prints Co., Once More with Love, The Coffee Monsters Co., Creativity and Ink, McPlans, Paper and Milk, Plan With Me stickers, Paper Muse Crafts that Russell is from? I think that sounds right. A Glittery Life Plans, If you have a question about a specific sticker, you can leave it to Sweet Ava's paper. You can leave it down below and I can try to answer it. I'm not sure where not every sticker is from, but I feel like I've named all the shops I'm seeing. And also, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out the rest of my trip. My next video going live is going to be my July kit lineup. And then we have 2 more trip spreads to go over. So there's definitely a lot more coming with this trip. I know I sound like I'm a broken record. I can't believe it happened, but I'm trying to do one of these voiceovers a day to not burn myself out. So I'm still excited about talking and telling you all about it. So much Disney. I just can't stop going back and looking at the photos. Part of me wishes I vlogged the trip. Part of me is very happy I didn't, because I got to just be in the moment with everybody, not worrying about it. Although other people were videoing for social media, I just figured I could live through their vlogs since a lot of us were together. And I got to meet so many interesting people. Some people I want to stay in contact with, and some people, dear God, I hope I never see again. Which we'll get more into that, not in the next trip plan with me. The worst day of the trip is in that week. I was raging mad, y'all, just to give you a little bit of a teaser. Also, I will link the font I used down below. It is called Mini. I just feel like it pops really well with this spread and goes well with the classic like Mickey heads and stuff like that. And I did get my custom scripts foiled from Plan a Hannah. You can use Rosey15 to save at Hannah and get my cutie freebie, which is currently Disney Halloween themed. How fun is that? And actually, now that I think about it, my Planner Pixico one is too. So if you want to get some Disney in your life, use my codes. Shameless self-plug as I try to get through this. Also, those squares are left blank because my best friend Jessica is drawing all the different Disney castles for me for my planner, so that is where they're going to go. And then I did miss a couple scripts when I formatted these because I also needed to confirm some of the people's names that were going to be in them. They were like presenters and stuff, and they will be getting filled in. Don't worry, I'm not going to leave actual blank stuff like that. I just wanted to get these videos up sooner rather than later. And if you want to see like the full completed spread, you can come back when I do my planner flip through and they'll be there. So this is going to bring us to our final close-up, which is going to be a bit of a longer one than normal because there's just so much stuff to show y'all, and I want to make sure you can see it, and I don't want to just like speed through it because looking back at these spreads and getting to tell some of these stories to y'all just makes me smile. I just can't believe that I made it through the trip. Part of me is like, I wish I would have done more of the nighttime shows and stuff, but I did not sleep well. Great. I did not sleep well most of this trip, so I feel like I did so much still, and I don't know. Those are memories that, like core memories with my mom, because we're never going to do something like this again. And it was just so outrageous and something that started as a joke that turned into reality. So I hope you all have enjoyed this plan with me. If you are struggling with your mental health, just know that you are not alone. My DMs are open for you on Instagram. It is RoseyPlans, like it is here. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. I hope you all have a good day, night, evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends!